squares 37 and 38 dapper for both options. There is a beaded loop section in the middle of the panel. On option 1, I'm going to show you rows 74, 75 and 78. On row 74, nutkin is introduced into the work, and it begins with knit 1. I'm just going to secure that new yarn nutkin into the work just by pausing there, just single knotting those yarns together firmly at the side edge. Now with my new yarn in place, I'm ready to follow the next instruction, which is to bring yarn forward, and then inside the bracket it says keeping yarn held at front, slip next 3 stitches purlwise with 4 bronze beads. So I slide 4 bronze beads up the yarn. I slip the next 3 stitches purlwise, and then it says to purl 3, and that is keeping the yarn at the front of the work so that the 4 bronze beads stay on a loop in front of the 3 slipped stitches. And this is repeated all the way along the row. So you will end up with a series of loops with 4 beads on each loop. Remember to keep that yarn held at the front. It's very tempting to take it back between the beaded sections, but it must be kept at the front as you work the whole row. On the last stitch, you take the yarn back and you knit 1. So your completed row looks like this. On row 75, which is a wrong side row, still using nutkin yarn, you begin by purling 1 stitch, then you slip the next 3 stitches purlwise, yarn back, knit 3, and then yarn forward, and then you're repeating the instruction inside the bracket until you've got to the end of the row. While you're working this row, try and keep your stitches spread to the correct width on the needle to ensure that where you're slipping the stitches, the yarn isn't sitting too tightly. you get to the end of the row, you keep the yarn at the front towards you and you purl the last stitch. As you turn the work around, take a look at it. After completing row 75 on option 1, this is what the row looks like. I've completed rows 76 to 77 and now I'm about to begin row 78, which is a right-sided row using pickles. The instruction says to begin the row by knitting 2, and then there is the instruction to pull up loop. Slide the tip of the right hand needle under the loop in the middle of it, so there are 2 beads on either side of the needle. Knit the next stitch and then just lift the loop over the needle, keeping the beads at the front as you release the stitch off the left hand needle. It's then knit 5 and then you repeat that again. Pull firmly on the yarn after you've slipped the strand to the back. At this point here, just to make sure that the beads are sitting nice and tightly against the knitting. And when you've completed the row, you will have your decorative beaded loops.